My parents' anniversary night was supposed to be a celebration, warm lights, a glittery cake, relatives packed into the living room like it was a wedding reception. Everyone was laughing too loudly, complimenting the decorations, snapping photos, and pretending our family was flawless. I stood near the edge of the crowd with a small gift box in my hands, holding it so tightly my fingers ached. My name is Naira, and in that box wasn't just a gift, there was proof. Proof I'd swallowed for years. Mom looked stunning in her dress. Dad had that I built this life pride in his posture, and the relatives were eating it up. The moment Dad lifted his glass for a toast, the room automatically quieted. 25 years, he said with a smile. And we built everything from nothing. Claps, cheers, someone shouted, "Goals!" Dad's eyes slid toward me. His smile didn't change, only the meaning behind it did. And of course, he added, chuckling like he was about to deliver the joke of the night, "We're still supporting." Certain people, a few relatives, laughed before they even understood what he meant. The kind of laugh people do when they want to stay on the winning side. Mom leaned in, smiling too sweetly. "Naira's still figuring herself out," she said, and the way she said my name made it sound like a diagnosis. Dad nodded. "Yeah, a grown adult. Still living like a..." He paused, glanced around the room, then finished loudly. "Like a freeloader." The word landed on the dinner table like a plate smashing sharp. Public, impossible to ignore. For a second, I couldn't even breathe properly. My face burned. My throat tightened. I felt every eye swing toward me, measuring, judging, enjoying. One aunt tried to smile sympathetically, but still looked curious, like she wanted details. Another uncle smirked into his drink. I forced a small laugh, the kind you use when you don't want to cry in front of people who would call it weakness. My palms were sweating around the gift box. Mom added, like she was being helpful. "We're just saying, honey. It's time you stop depending on us." Depending on them, I wanted to stand up and scream, "You don't even know." But I didn't, not because I was scared, because I was tired. Tired of explaining myself to people who preferred the version of me that made them feel superior. So I took a slow breath, stood up, and walked forward before my courage could change its mind. "Happy anniversary," I said, keeping my voice steady. "I got you something." Dad lifted his brows. "Oh, from our freeloader." Now I'm excited. Somebody laughed again. That laugh hit me harder than the insult, because it meant they thought I deserved it. I placed the box on the table carefully, right in front of them. It wasn't huge, just neat, wrapped cleanly, tied with a simple ribbon. The room leaned in the way it always does when there's drama disguised as a gift. Mom tilted her head. "What is it?" "Open it," I said. Dad looked around as if he was about to perform. Then he pulled the ribbon, lifted the lid, and his expression shifted slowly at first, then all at once. Inside were documents. Real ones, not cute ones. A stack of receipts. A bank confirmation letter. A payoff statement with a bold line that said, "Mortgage balance, $0." And on top, an official notice that the final payment had been made. By me. Dad blinked like his brain refused to accept what his eyes were seeing. "What is this?" Mom's fingers trembled as she lifted the paper. "Naira, what is this?" I swallowed, my heart pounding so hard I could hear it over the silence. "It's your house," I said. "Paid off." The living room went dead quiet. No forks clinking. No fake laughter. No gossip. Just air and shock. Dad's mouth opened, but nothing came out. He looked at me like I was a stranger. I continued, because once the truth starts, it doesn't stop politely. "While you were telling everyone I depended on you, I was covering the payments, quietly for 2 years. Mom whispered, "That's impossible." I nodded toward the receipts. "Check the dates." Dad's voice finally returned, thin, shaken. Why wouldn't you tell us?" I let out a short breath that almost sounded like a laugh. "Because I didn't do it for applause. I did it because you're my parents. And because I knew if I said it out loud, you'd turn it into something I owed you. A few relatives stared at the papers like they were holy. Someone murmured, "She paid the mortgage?" Mom's eyes filled. Dad looked like someone had taken the ground from under him. The proud posture was gone. The king of the toast suddenly looked like a man who didn't know what to do with shame. I didn't yell. I didn't insult them back. I just said the sentence I deserved to say years ago: "You can call me whatever you want, but don't call me a freeloader again." Dad's hand shook as he put the papers down. Mom reached for my wrist softly, like she was afraid I'd disappear if she touched too hard. "I'm sorry," she whispered, and for the first time all night it sounded real. "We didn't know." I gently pulled my hand back, not cruelly, just firmly. "That's the problem," I said. "You didn't know me. You only knew the story you liked." Then I stepped away from the table, leaving the box right there in front of them open, undeniable and louder than any toast dot, because tonight, in front of everyone, they tried to make me small dot in one quiet gift box. I finally showed them how big my love had been all along.